40% podcast. I'm 40% podcast. You know I'm 40% podcast, baby. You know I'm 40% podcast. You know I'm 40% podcast, baby. I'm only 40%. Go. 40% podcast. I'm 40% podcast. Hello, everyone. I'm Jinkx Monsoon, and welcome to a brand new episode of I'm 40% Podcast. With me, as always, is actually you look quite nice today. Your eyes are glowing in the light. I can't really make fun of you when you look nice.
My eyes are puffy.
Your eyes green?
My eyes are puffy is what they are.
They're green, right? They look.
I feel like you're drawing attention to it. So many people just listen to the audio of this. They don't know that I have puffy eyes. Now you're drawing attention.
I don't think
to my
anyone listens to the audio or visual of this. But you look nice today. Your hair doesn't look as greasy. I don't feel like I can smell you from here. But
I have my coffee.
It has nothing to do with anything.
I'm going to be nicer in this episode. As everyone knows, everyone's very deep in the lore of I'm 40% Podcast. We are recording this the same day as last week's episode. And Jinkx doesn't want me to mention this.
Stop bringing it up!
But I'm bringing you people the truth. You know, I care about our audience. This happened on the same day. You'll notice I'm in a better mood. I got my coffee. I feel better. How do you feel in comparison?
You're being more obstinate on this point.
How do you feel? Do you feel good in relation to our previous episode? Better or worse? Better or worse?
Baby, ain't no one gonna break my stride. Ain't nothing gonna bring me down.
Shut up, baby, I know it.
So, we're back here. There's no news. You're the host. You talk.
Well, the news segment is your bit. Let's see.
I'm telling you that there's no news. I'm giving you that info.
Well, there wasn't very much pomp or circumstance around that.
No.
Good news, everyone.
See, there's no good news.
No good news, everyone. Okay. Well, let's see. Dayla and I are still on tour for the Jinkx and Dayla holiday show, being as it is the same day as last week's episode. Mm-hmm. And you can get your tickets to the Jinkx and Dayla holiday show at jinxanddayla.com. We're probably coming to a city nearish you if you live in North America. Huh? Because it's the States and Canada.
Well, this might come out after all of that, for all we know. We have no say over that.
It's coming out when it's supposed to, which is like tomorrow.
Great. Jinkx, how is Dayla? How's the tour coming along? Do you like the way the show is progressing?
This is. I mean, we say it every year, but this year, this is like I'm really
This year, we're
confident.
Never gonna talk to each other again after it.
No.
We say it every year, but me and Ben are never going to talk to each other again.
Confidently, I can say this is the coolest, funniest show we've written together. It is really, really good. And that's why I can't stop talking about it. It's like, it's one of the best things to come out of our little brains, the little collective.
Interesting if true.
Shut up! Don't undermine me.
I'm excited to see it. I assume my ticket is already figured out.
Yeah, it's in the mail, I think.
Okay, great. So we're
you
here.
Still get paper mail, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure a pigeon's bringing it. One of my ravens.
What is this bit? Okay, so we're here.
My antiquated form of communication bit. I do it all the time.
I can't actually argue with that. You do that a lot. Yeah. Some would say too much. So.
Some would say Tupac.
Yeah, some would say Tupac. Other people would say Biggie Smalls. And you're asking them who's your favorite rapper of the 90s. So.
Missy Elliott.
Yeah, I love Missy Elliott.
My favorite rapper of the 90s.
Have you seen the movie Honey?
No, I have not.
Missy Elliott's got a really good cameo in Honey. Okay.
Missy Elliott had a cameo in a Mean Girls themed Target commercial recently or something.
Oh,
I don't
yeah.
know what the store
That Mean Girls
was.
commercial was so weird. It was all of them.
It was very weird. It was all of them and Missy Elliott.
Like Amanda Seyfried, you're like a respected actor.
is
You
it
don't have
because
to do
she
this
made
Target
that song
commercial.
that's like from the iconic scene? Or did they not want to have the problematic gym coach in the commercial?
Oh, it might
Because
be,
he was
yeah,
having
maybe
an affair with the
Missy Elliott is
student.
subbing in for the gym coach. That actually makes a lot of sense to me. So there's no news. Do we talk about the episode now? Do we do it?
Yeah.
Okay. The day the Earth stood stupid. Original
This
air
is
date.
one of my
I'm in the middle of a
favorite
sentence.
episodes for.
I did the research. I wrote down the original air date, and you won't let me say it. Original air date, February
18th.
2001. Week after the last one, if you noticed. So no delays in the scheduling there. We have a Chiron because there's no cold open. And the Chiron is 80% entertainment by volume. I feel like they phoned it in. This is nothing to me.
This means nothing to me as well.
I feel nothing.
1 out of 2 Chiron.
One? Whoa. I think that's the first one ever. Is that true?
What? Read it to me again.
80% new. Wait. 80% entertainment by volume.
1 out of 5
Wow.
Chirons.
I give it 2, but I do feel nothing.
It's like, make me feel something, please.
We open on a distant planet.
I just love to feel anything again.
We open on a distant planet. It's called Tweenus 12, and it explodes.
Is it because it's between his 2 planets?
Yeah, actually, probably. We learned later that
Tweenus.
this is between a couple of other planets, so maybe you're right.
Tweenus.
Jinkx, look at you solving puzzles.
It's also just a funny word.
Have you been doing your brain age?
I don't like this vagina.
You've been exercising your noggin there, figuring stuff out. So the planet blows up, and
No,
brains.
I had the crayon that was lodged in my brain taken out.
That's a different show. The planet blows up.
I stopped having sex.
The planet blows up.
The planet blows up, yes, and a bunch of brains come out of it.
Yeah,
It's like
and,
a core of a planet, right? Like it's like
I
an
don't-
apple core, but I can't remember. They just blow it up, and then a big swarm of floating brains start flying around, and then
Yeah.
it says approximately 1 day's brain flight from Earth.
Yep. And then we cut to Earth, and we're at Madison Cube Garden, as we often are. And it's a pet show. It's a pet show. Leela brought Nibbler for the pet show. Oh, but she's so bad at training him. She's really bad at it.
Because
She says,
she says she has a strict training regimen, but the training regimen is just giving him all the ham he wants, no matter what he does. Because he's too cute, and Leela is very susceptible to his adorableness.
this is very you and Tildy.
Listen, sometimes I do not spoil Tildy as much as Kenny or pretty much anyone else in the house does. I actually give Tildy tough love.
What do you do to Tildy?
I just don't let her get away with being a little bitch, But
Me too. Do you hate her?
When she's a bitch, I let her know it. We
Just
have a
verbally?
yes. I say, Tildy, stop being a bitch. And then she looks at me and swats her tail. Very bitchily, might I add.
So, yeah, she just keeps giving him ham, even though he didn't do the trick. And there's a prize for the best pet. The winner gets $500 and a year's supply of dog food. So Bender and Zoidberg say, $500, you say?
Dog food, you say? So Bender and Zoidberg team up. Zoidberg is now Bender's
whooping terrier.
Whooping terrier, a yipping terrier, a whooping terrier. So now we've got Nibbler and Dr. Zoidberg in the race for best pet at Madison Cube Garden. Everything you need for a comedy setup. Now, since there are so many different types of pets, there's a lot of different show things happening. Like, there's like sheep being herded.
There's sheep herding, yeah. and it's very funny because it cuts to Fry and he's like, wow, he's sure herding a lot of sheep. 1 sheep, 2 sheep,
2 sheep,
3 sheep.
Yeah, but he's and they're talking about Nibbler's odds of winning, but they're pretty sure it's a lock for the Hypnotoad.
Yes.
The Hypnotoad who just
first appearance of the Hypnotoad.
No, it's not. He's on TV all the time.
Not yet.
Yes, huh?
No.
Right?
No, that was in the future.
No, they.
Why? No, listen
Haven't
to
they
me.
introduced Leave It to Hypnotoad?
No, it's called Everybody Loves Hypnotoad.
Everybody loves Hypnotoad.
And no, this is the first appearance of Hypnotoad.
This is how Hypnotoad got his big break.
Yeah,
He
I
won
feel like
this
was a
and
big
then he became
hit for him.
like
yeah.
the dog on Frasier.
Well, I think it was like they discovered talent. It's like when someone has a viral video, then they just get their own like show on like FX. That's how like TV works now.
I wish. What in the butt would have had a talk show years ago?
Oh, that could have been just the name of the talk show too. He could have just asked everybody what in the butt.
Yeah, like, hi, I'm here with Nicole Kidman asking, what in the butt? And then Nicole Kidman would talk about
my agent. Why did my agent send me to this show? That's Nicole Kidman.
That's Meryl Streep in the movie about the dingo.
So Nibbler, he's not very good at this. He just eats all the sheep, doesn't he?
Nibbler doesn't really do a lot besides eat, which, I mean, like, I don't understand. Okay, so here is knowing what we know about Nibbler. Do we just assume? Because in this one, he just kind of. But
that was impeccable.
Later he talks. So I'm like, did they just not decide that Nibbler was going to talk yet?
No.
Why is Nibbler posing as a dumb pet?
No.
Why has he not? What
he explains in this episode that he makes them think he's speaking their language with his brain.
I know, but later we hear him talk. But the thing I want to know is,
because he's making us, the audience, hear it.
What does he get out of pretending to be dumb? It's like in the end of
Guardians of the Galaxy 3 where Groot says,
hands.
I love you guys. It's not that he's actually saying I love you guys. It's that we, the audience, now understand Groot language.
But when he tries to eat the pig balloon, okay?
Okay, sure.
What was Lord Nibbler of the Nibblonians thinking? He didn't really think that was a pig.
Maybe he did.
How? How could he? He's an intelligent, timeless being, and he thought that pig. He's never seen a balloon before. He didn't have enough context clues.
Don't you think he does enough smart things that he probably has to do dumb things on purpose in order to keep the humans off of his scent as a sentient being?
That's what I'm assuming. That if I give him the benefit of the doubt, but you'd think still he wouldn't want to put himself in danger. I mean, he falls into a big vat of cream, for Christ's sake.
Oh my God, when he falls in the cream and there's like a sort of punch bowl full of cream where cream is being like distributed in individual cups to cats and they are waiting patiently. But
then the cream splashes all over everyone and it attracts all these cats who are, everyone's screaming bloody murder, but the cats are just politely licking all of them. The cats are like they're not like using claws, they're not biting, they're just on them going.
If you got cream on you and I licked you, would it satisfy me the same way as if I were to actually drink cream? I don't think it would. I think, it's a liquid.
But
It's not
now
pooling
they
on
get
your
as
body.
much cream as they want, rather than a little doled out.
But they don't get
Here's the
any
other thing,
cream
though.
because it's on
I've never
people's
seen
skin.
Tildy give a shit about cream. Ice
You should
cream,
not give your
she
cats
goes nuts
cream.
about.
You should not give
I know
your
you
cat
shouldn't.
dairy.
I don't give her cream, but
You
you
just
know, when
said you
there's
gave her an
cream
ice
around-
cream cone.
First of all, I never said the word cone at all.
I think you did.
And second of all, I just said she goes nuts. If I'm eating ice cream, she just gets her head in the bowl, and I have to constantly be, with a little, get out of here.
You eat an ice cream in bed a lot, Jinkx?
Not a lot.
So,
Is there something wrong with that? Where
the
do
hard
you
shell.
eat ice cream?
I don't eat ice cream. It upsets my tummy. The hard shell whooping terrier is wearing a diaper, and it's very upsetting to me. Because Zoidberg doesn't wear a diaper usually.
It's just to sell him as a pet, like Nibbler being dumb. I did like Leela's line where she's like, "Nibbler, shake my hand, shake." Sorry, he's usually had more ham by now. How much ham? What's her ham budget? Where is she getting all these raw dripping hams?
Do you think it's in the future and they can bioengineer hams? They don't have to grow a whole pig. They can just grow the ham part.
It does seem like there is an abundance of pork products because you got Big Pink. It's really on my mind.
It's a ham-based economy.
It's a ham-based market. They've got a surplus of ham, so they got to
put it in their gum.
They're gonna find a lot of ways to use it. Okay.
We find out the winners of this particular challenge. There's a top 3. Third place is Dave Spangler and his owner Fluffers. And it's a little man that is shaped like a dog. But the
He's not
owner
shaped like a dog. He's just a little man in a little man position.
He has
he's very
dog
small.
features.
No,
he
he
just has
does
a
not
human
have
head.
any dog features except for a collar. He is just a little man going like this. He's just like this. He's just like this, Nick. And then his owner is a human-sized cat lady.
Yes, her name is Fluffer.
Not a cat woman, because she hasn't been blessed by the goddess. And she's not Halle Berry.
Oh. Do you remember in Catwoman that Frances Conroy's character is named Ophelia Powers? And she's the one who tells Catwoman about what her powers are.
And
Do you
then
remember
Catwoman says, "I feel ya, Ophelia."
Do you remember the part in Catwoman where Catwoman falls out of a window and Benjamin Bratt, who does not have any superpowers, scoops her up with his arms and pulls her back into the building?
Was that the Halle Berry Catwoman or the
Halle Berry.
the Jennifer Aniston Catwoman?
Jennifer Aniston? Benjamin Bratt? Do you mean Brad Pitt? You were lost.
Who's the one oh my gosh. Princess Diaries.
Anne Hathaway?
Anne Hathaway. That's who I meant.
No, I don't think Benjamin Bratt is in any Christopher Nolan films. So sadly, he was not brought back.
It's Christopher Nolan.
Well, this is just a fun game. I can just keep saying the name of very famous people, and you can be surprised by their existence.
Keep going on with the episode, please.
I'm trying desperately. So Zoidberg and Bender, they come in second. And Bender...
Which is just a fancy word for losing.
Fancy word for losing. We skipped over when Zoidberg was doing the talent show and he was doing a Spanish dance.
He was
and doing
doing
little
a
castanets.
flamenco.
Yeah. It was pretty cute.
And Bender said, "I should be weeping right now." Bender uses the whip on Zoidberg. It's funny to me that they allow Bender to keep whipping him while he's dancing. You'd think that would be distracting for the performance, and probably why they didn't win, except for the winner was the Hypnotoad, so no one else was going to win other than the Hypnotoad. And we can only assume that this is the day that the Hypnotoad gets his TV contract.
I don't know if it's today. I think right now all of the
No, I think there was a hot shot Hollywood producer.
the networks are having a bidding war. They're like, look at this hot new talent. All the kids love him on the viral stuff.
There was definitely a scout there.
There was a scout at the pet show.
Yeah, hell yeah.
TV
Pets
talent.
Think about it. Grumpy Cat, come on.
Grumpy Cat, did Grumpy Cat have his own movie? Didn't they just film him running around for a while? And
If they
Aubrey
gave
Plaza
a movie
voiced
to
him.
Fred,
This is a real
I'm
thing.
sure they gave a movie to Grumpy Cat.
Leave Fred out of this. So,
They gave a movie to the annoying orange. They better have given a movie to Grumpy Cat. May he rest in power, Grumpy Cat.
they gave a movie to Go Bois. Do you remember Go Bois?
No.
It's a girl.
I don't
and
even know what that is.
It's a little, like, 3-year-old girl, and she's holding a dog by the leash, and she says, go, and the dog runs, but then it pulls her down, and she hits the ground, and she says, blah.
And they gave a movie to her?
No, it was just a viral video.
But they did give a movie to all the other things, so why?
The orange was a real one?
Yes,
didn't
the
know.
annoying orange as a movie.
I thought we were heightening to ridiculous levels, which is why I
No.
said go Bois. Okay, so...
But they did give a movie to this girl.
I'm not playing this game anymore. People...
Okay.
They give Leela the award of dumbest pet in show. It's pretty sad. And I guess to that extent, you know, I feel like if Nibbler is causing that much of a distraction, it must be part of his goal to appear dumb and like have it be a spectacle of how dumb he is. Because he's too smart for this to be an accident. So we cut back to Planet Express, and Zoidberg, Hermes is examining like a space map or something, and Space Rome got destroyed, and then Don Martin 3 got destroyed. What does that mean? And then
Don Martin.
I think that's the name of the planet, he said. I didn't know what it meant. Don Martin 3. Maybe I wrote it down wrong. And then they destroyed Tweenus 12, as we saw in the beginning. And we're noticing a trail here. It's leading right towards Earth.
About 1 day's brain flight from Earth.
Yeah. So Nibbler freaks out at this. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Nibbler freaks out at this. He runs outside. Leela's got to chase him. So she's walking around in the alley with a ham, trying to coax him back.
Here's
But
what
then
I
she
wanna
sees
know.
a glowing dumpster. Take it, Mom.
Okay, so the Nibblonians knew all this was going to happen because the Nibblonians prophesize everything because they've been there since before the dawn of time. Because somehow, oh, well, we're going to get there. Anyway, the point is they save Earth.
Okay, so you interrupted me to talk about something and then stopped talking about it. Is that the thing?
No. I'm getting back to the original point that I interrupted you with.
Okay.
They knew this was going to happen. Were there no lives worth saving on Tweenus 12? Were there no lives worth saving on Don Martin 3? Were there no lives worth saving on Kentucky Fried Planet?
Space Rome. It was Space Rome. And I think Space Rome is just destined to fall, maybe. You know?
You'd
Just
be
like-
there. The Ides of
Glorp.
Mars. Glorp.
They don't have March there. They have different months. So there's a glowing dumpster.
Glob and a gloob.
No, and I hear you. I don't know why they didn't rescue the people on the other planet. Maybe they finally have like a bearing on the path of the brains. Like they finally have a chart to
Maybe
follow.
they just knew there would be a day the brains would attack Earth, and Nibbler is like realizing, oh, this looks like it. But like they need Nibbler. They sent Nibbler to Earth because they needed him there to help prevent the destruction of Earth countless times. And usually it's related to Fry.
True.
Now, this is the first time that this happens. And probably the last time it makes any sense.
Yes, because they will do it again and it will make less sense. Now, I want to talk about these glowing brains that come out of the dumpster. They chase Leela around, and she runs down another alley and she ends up finding Nibbler, who is getting in a little spaceship, which I guess he just kept in a shed.
Wearing a little space suit.
Yeah, he looks very
that he keeps
cute.
in a teeny tiny shed behind Planet Express that no one questions.
I feel like at some point, doesn't he move the spaceship to the roof or something? It's on a roof at some point. But right now he's storing it in a shed in an alley. And he starts to fly off without Leela. He has to abandon her. But she begs and begs.
Don't leave me here.
She begs and begs, and Nibbler has a change of heart, has to go down there, pick her up, squeeze her in, and they fly to space together. Would you like to fly to space with any of your pets?
I wonder. Yeah, no, I don't know that. I don't know. I don't want to be the first. I don't want to like go out there on my own. I want that someone to be like, here's some space that we have deemed safe for you to visit.
I think we got to give up on space, y'all. We're just throwing money at a thing that's never going to get figured out in our lifetime. How about we spend all that money on helping the people who need like food and stuff?
Well, the thing is, there would be money for both if we just stopped, if everyone stopped spending money on war, but we
That's
can't
true.
do that because that's the only reason that America has any sway in anything is because
And
we got
that's
the biggest guns.
And that's the only reason they're investing in space travel, because that's the only scientific advancement that has military opportunities. Think about that, man. You ever think
I
about
saw
that?
something that said something about like America's only true export is war. Like that's our number one export.
And
that
sitcoms and cartoons. Anyway.
Yeah, and entertainment. Entertainment and war, the two American values.
So the brains are everywhere. They've very quickly taken over the planet, and everybody's just getting so dumb. But we're seeing this all through the perspective of Fry, who is unaffected by the dumbing rays of these brains. And now suddenly he's the smartest.
Stupefaction ray.
The stupefaction ray.
Now, before Nibbler explains what's going on, we get a little bit of like clues. It's pretty obvious. The brains are making everyone dumb. Doesn't affect Fry. Something special about Fry is going on. We don't really know to the extent why Fry is such an anomaly. But here's my biggest complaint about this episode. And I know I've already complained about this episode, even though it's one of my favorites to quote.
This is a fucking great episode overall.
It's a fucking great episode, but what pisses me off about it, and I think it's in the direction maybe, or in the writing, I love everything about this episode except for the way that they make all the dumb people talk. Because essentially,
it's a little lazy, yeah.
It's not dumb, it's juvenile. You know, it's like childish. And what pisses me off about it is they're basically saying that everyone is now as dumb as Fry, and Fry is not as dumb as everyone else.
No, he's smarter than them.
I don't know. It's like, I know he's a
now
little bit smarter than them, but they're like, I don't know. It doesn't sell to me as dumb. It sells to me as like lazy writing. Yeah, like let's just make them talk like toddlers than talk like what these characters would talk like if they were dumb. I think they do a better job with Morbo and Linda than they do with the main cast.
Yeah.
Because the main cast is just like Professy and Zoibi and like, why are they talking like babies? Like, I know plenty of people who are dumb, but they're not babies. I know smart babies.
I don't know any smart babies.
Well, you don't know them for long.
Flying through space. Nibbler and Leela
Because they grow up, you see.
Yes. Now, they're flying through space, as I mentioned. And Nibbler, he's doing the little chatters, but he's communicating his thoughts to Leela. And I think this is every time we hear him talk, I think he's doing little chatters, but he's making people understand him.
Sure, I'll buy that. But here's what and I'll buy it that the first time we hear it, it's it's like what was actually happening. And from then on, we're hearing it from the perspective of the character. Or maybe we're forgetting something that he says that explains it later on. But here's what I'll say. I do really, really like the bit of the one-sided conversation. I like the bit of her saying, and you go on to say, as if she's saying it for our benefit. And then I also really, really like the bit about what's the meaning of the universe.
How is the universe formed? And he just goes,
for a long, long time. And she goes, that would mean, meh. So every religion is wrong.
Really, really funny.
I love that bit. I would like to know why every religion is wrong, just so that I can apply it to here in our time and life and Earth. But whatever, I like the bit.
Well, go talk to your cat. Maybe she'll tell you.
You think I haven't tried? She is very withholding.
She's a bitch.
My name is Tildy, and I'm a bitch.
So back on Earth, the Hermes, he almost drowns in the shower like a turkey vulture, like looking up at rain. Did you know that turkey vultures will die from that? Little fun fact about turkey vultures. Yes. And this is where we get kind of like the montage of everybody being dumb. And they're like, oh, we want to buy internet stock on margin. I don't know enough about the stock market to know if that's funny. On margin. Soybean want to buy on margin. What I do love is the professor sitting there with the clackers going between his glasses. And then he just goes, I'm a genius. I loved that. There's a lot of jokes. You know, there's
they all
the
join the reform
monster
party.
Yes.
The news monster can't read the T.
Yeah, oh, that's such a good joke. He can't read the teleprompter because he forgot what the letter that looks like a man wearing a little hat sounds like.
It's a T. It goes, ta. Hello, little man. Marbo will destroy you. Now, Linda, though, she's more like stoned. She's like, she's like, oh, this is cool, yeah. Look at this cool train pileup. And the governor lady says, I'm sending in more trains. See, like, to me, that's like what people would act like if they were stupefied, right?
Yes, I agree. It's a little better. We go back to space, and Leela has arrived at the Nibblonians' homeworld, and we meet this council of Nibblonians. Shout out to the main female Nibblonian. I believe this is a Tress MacNeille character, and just really funny. All of her lines are good. All the delivery is great. And the sort of running gag with Nibbler's species is that they have a great, important cosmic purpose, and they are like basically gods amongst humans and mortals, but they're also very cute and act like little kitties.
Oh, from this point on, we do just hear their voices.
Yep.
So it's just, yeah, okay, never mind.
It's a transitional scene.
It's a transitional scene.
It's
anyway,
so the audience will understand.
Yeah. Now we've got Nibbler in full Nibblonian glory, and we learned that at the dawn of existence, their mighty race was already 17 years old.
Yeah. And you see their like pre-universe world that they lived in, and it's just like a pink, like Lisa Frank field where they're like frolicking and picking flowers together.
It was a paradise, and all the universe was in harmony for about 5 minutes, and then and then in came the brains.
The brains.
Now,
so these are their sworn enemy. Like throughout time, they've had to fight the brains.
How do human brains predate humanity in this universe?
We don't know that they're a human brain. Lots of brains look like that.
They look pretty human-y.
You ever looked at like elephant brain?
No.
Pretty similar.
How many brains have you looked at? How are you looking at brains?
Science textbooks.
Oh, you got those lying around? Your little bachelor pad?
Look at my bookshelf over here. I can't turn my computer,
otherwise
No one can
see anything you're pointing at.
So
We can't even see your arm pointing. It's gone, Nick.
So, yeah, this is funny. I like this as like an end of the world threat. Simply that people will just be dumb and passive.
And they have to get rid of everyone because the thoughts of others hurt.
Yes. Yeah.
So, and now this is a wonderful, this is our first introduction to something that basically Fry is the one. He is the Neo.
One, isn't
he is the question and answer. He is always at the heart of everything because of something we will learn in a future episode. If you're a fan of the show, you already know.
Yeah.
But what happens in a future episode causes Fry to have no delta brainwaves. Now, the Nibblonians explain that all living creatures and some trees have delta brainwaves, but
not
Fry is one unique. Some trees.
So
yeah,
yes, exactly. That's why he's immune. He's back on planet Earth.
Inferior brain is the answer to this calamity.
So he's back on Earth trying to re-educate the Planet Express crew, and in order to do this, he's decided to start with U.S. presidents. And he's got George Washington there to help them remember, but they can't do it. And Leela is up in orbit. And we see the sort of like a Nibblonian mothership is like it's kind of like a red, like Valentine's fantasy. Like if a heart-shaped motel bed, like blew up and was an interior.
Yeah. And, they're starting to realize that maybe they are cute. Now, this is one of my favorite jokes. Except I have always felt uncomfortable with the word they chose to create.
I don't think it's an actual issue. Like, there's...
But it sounds so close. It's like, it starts that way, and it's like, what? Of all the sounds you could have made up...
Maybe it should have been Wiggle Snush.
With N-I-G, and you thought that was a good idea.
Maybe it should be Wiggle Snush. Maybe that would be better. Sure. But I think they were
Sniggle Snush.
Sure.
Put an S on it.
Sure. These are all good punch-ups. Look, I wish you were there on the day.
I mean, like, as a writer, you as a writer, I'm a writer, we both write. Would you ever choose that word? If you had the chance to make up a word, do you think you'd start with that?
I guess not.
As a conscious, mindful human being, do you think you'd start with those 3 letters when you're writing a word that you have to make up?
It's actually worse than that because it's 4 letters. There's 2 G's.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So please,
it's rough.
It's the first 3 letters that make the sound. But I'm asking you, Nick, as a writer,
I'm agreeing with you.
Made that choice?
Stop acting like I'm defending the word.
Who in the Futurama, the first Futurama writing team, who was the Nazi? I want to know.
Oh my god. So let's call it Smiggle Snush. But it's very funny because he says, and it's like, it's a made-up word. It's much like glorb and a gloop, where we like get what the word is from context.
They're good at making up words until now.
But the joke, let's say what the context of the word is because it's very funny. He says, I worry we are cute. And as sort of a way to like talk him down, she says, oh, sniggle snush.
I like that. Fire the what are the torpedoes called?
I can't remember what the torpedoes are called.
fire the hug ray torpedoes
it's
or something
like that.
But that's why he says, I fear we are cute. So they're fighting off the brains. Leela has to go down. She has to go to Earth and deliver a note to Fry explaining the situation.
But it's going to make her dumb when she gets there. That's
exactly. That's why they wrote the note. So they write a note to explain the situation to Fry. Leela, as soon as she's on Earth, she is immediately dumb. So Fry takes the note, says, "Thank you, Leela," blows his nose, and then throws it into the fire.
Which I don't know.
Directly in the fire.
I guess if you had a boogery tissue, that's one way to dispose of it, right? Or is it going to send booger particulates about? Is it safe to burn boogers? I guess is my question.
At the end of the day, you shouldn't. At the end of the day, you shouldn't burn anything probably but wood. And even that you should probably keep at a minimum.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. My grandma used to just burn all the junk mail. Did you ever have anyone in your family that did that? That's how she would start the fires in the fireplace. She would save all the junk mail, and then, but that means all of the dyes and all of the plastic on the little envelopes, all of that was burning up too and going into the, but whatever. Newspapers, saving up old newspapers to use as starter, I think that's okay, but still it's like the ink is burning up, but that's a little bit less than, a bunch of like magazines, a bunch of
What's
Nordstrom's
ink gonna do? What's ink gonna do to you? Octopuses are full of them. They seem all right. They seem pretty on the ball.
They seem pretty with it.
So we get into kind of the end game of this episode. Leela is down on Earth, but she's dealing with becoming dumb, so it's all in Fry's hands. And I will say, even though she's dumb, but she's able to relay the information to him.
Because Leela is very efficient. But
and do you think it's partially because she has such a connection with Fry? Did their love save the day?
Or maybe it's just that it was so soon, like she hasn't been distracted yet.
Sure.
Because she gets distracted later. She's not as helpful later.
She does get dumber as it goes, yes.
Yeah, and she's one of the people who, this vocal performance, I love Katie Seagal, but the thing I was talking about at the beginning about there's a difference between stupid and being a baby. Leela has just become a baby. She goes, "You for this." I do like when she goes, you for this. But then I kind of hate the whole reason I feel this way about the voice acting on this is because of her going, "You go fight biggest brain of all." Like,
boop-be-doop-be-doop, boop, sex.
But anyway, I love this episode. So Fry goes, brains are basically a bunch of nerds.
Well,
Where would nerds be hanging out?
Yes, you finish the joke and I'll say mine.
I know, the library.
The library was very funny to me. And the captions didn't even get it. The caption said library, and I was like, caption person, pay attention. You're missing bits here.
You ruined the joke.
Yeah. If someone couldn't.
People who are hearing impaired,
or just have to turn down the volume,
not getting the really good joke.
Yeah. Either way. Anyway. So, yeah, the other funny line from that scene I just wanted to say is brain make people stupid. No, Leela, brain make people smart. It's just really funny. So yes, they do go
because he's using the broken English to keep.
Yeah.
No, Leela, brain make people smart.
So they follow the plan. They do go to the library, and it was correct because the sort of master brain is there, the king brain. What's his name?
Dewey, you fool! Your decimal system has played directly into my hands.
Yeah.
Brain, his voice, I love this voice acting.
It's really funny.
I am a giant brain.
Yes, this is a hilarious vocal performance. I assume it's probably just Billy West doing a silly voice.
I don't know
really
who
works.
it is, but it's because he's so smug. And yes, that a giant brain would be very smug because he's so smart.
So the whole thing, though, is he's at the library and he's absorbing all of the books to, like, gain all of the knowledge? Is that what he's doing? What's his plan?
Because he's going to gain all of the knowledge. They gain all of the knowledge of the planet, and then they destroy the planet to kill all the thoughts. They have
so there
to keep
can't
the
be
knowledge
any
because
more
they're
knowledge.
brains.
Yeah.
Well, yes. And we learn that later because that is their end goal. This is just a step in their plan.
Whoa. Yeah. We haven't even seen the vast machinations of these brain spawn. So
I'm a giant brain.
So
What really killed the dinosaurs? Me. Okay, that's a spoiler.
You're jumping
I'm
ahead,
sorry,
yeah.
but I know.
The bit is that Fry is like thinking and it's hurting the brain, and he's like, oh, maybe I can think of a way to make that work for me, and that hurts him, but then he can't think anymore. So he has to go read a book in order to make thoughts happen.
Yes. He
Hardy
starts
Boys,
reading
too
books.
easy. Nancy Drew, too hard.
Too hard.
Oh,
Bonfire in the Vanities.
perfect.
Perfect.
Now, is this a funny joke? Because I've never read Bonfire of the Vanities. Is this a burn on like Bonfire of the Vanities being like children's writing? Because it's in between Hardy Boys and Nancy Drew.
I don't know. I mean, honestly, I only get this part because I know about Pride and Prejudice. I've never even heard of Bonfire of the Vanities.
What do you
besides
think?
this episode.
What do you think Bonfire of the Vanities is about?
I figure it's a Pride and Prejudice ripoff.
Rip off.
From the context clues in this episode, it seems like Pride and Prejudice did well, and then someone else tried to get in on that.
The only thing I know is there's a movie called Bonfire of the Vanities, I assume based on the book. And I think it has Bruce Willis in it. And I think it bombed really hard. They put a lot of money into it. And it
Well,
bombed.
you don't put Bruce Willis in a period piece.
I know,
you
it's
put
distracting.
Bruce Willis unless it's a future period, because he's awesome in Fifth Element. But
He's great
also,
in Fifth Element. He's always playing a robot or like a guy hunting
He's
down
great
a
in
robot.
Death Becomes Her too. He actually has acting chops for an action star. And that's
yeah.
not typical.
No, he's great in Death Becomes Her. What a
He's
funny
got
performance.
good comedic timing.
So
He's terrible on that episode of Friends, but the writing
But do
by
you
then
know-
was just
Do you know what the
moronic.
vanities are? Because it took me a long time to understand that the vanities were like actual like pieces of furniture, and they're burning them. It's a bonfire of the vanities, you see. I guess I thought that the vanities.
Oh, like the vanity. A vanity is
Yes.
the table.
I thought it was a more existential vanity. Like we're gonna
A
burn
vanity is
all
the
of our
table with a
vanity.
mirror. Yes.
With a mirror on it, yeah. So they
no,
burn all those.
No. It's like they're burning. It's like they're burning their furniture, probably because I'm guessing they go destitute in the book.
Sure.
Because that's what happens in Pride and Prejudice.
This is a good guess. And I think
And they have to burn their vanities for warmth. I don't know.
I think
This is all just me. We could Google this and have it answered in seconds.
Nope. I think it would be better if
Our
the
listeners are going to be so mad that
No, I want
neither
the
of us
listeners
know
to-
a goddamn thing about this book.
I want the listeners to leave a comment telling us what Bonfire of the Vanities is. Don't send me a DM. I
I
don't
feel
want
so
them.
dumb right now. Maybe that's the point of this episode. Okay,
I'm
come
a
on. We need to
gigantic
wrap this
brain.
mother up. So,
They
once
start going into
once
books. That's the rest of the
The
bit.
brain uses his brain powers to to put Fry and Leela in the books, since Fry's using the books to think to hurt him.
Yes.
Anyway, I
So
don't know how
basically
that
we
makes
get-
Fry stop thinking. I mean,
Sure.
isn't he stimulating Fry's mind, putting him in the books this way?
Well, let me ask you this: when we get
Isn't
there,
it the same? Wouldn't
Well-
it be the same as dreaming?
well, shut your damn mouth. I'm saying something. When we get the reveal at the end of this
Don't
bit,
talk to me like that.
when we get the reveal at the end of this bit, we find out this is all something Fry is writing down. So did he write down that the brain had this
we
power?
see him walk away. No, we see him walk away.
He could have written that part.
and get out of the brain's power.
He could have written that part.
Well, then,
He did write that part
oh,
because then he dies. Anyway, he goes through
okay.
three
Well,
books.
then
He goes through
so
three
you're
books. Let's talk
telling
about
me
the books.
that he sees the brain absorbing the books and immediately got the idea. Our Fry.
Yeah. Which is why the rules don't make sense, because he's making them up as he goes.
Whatever. They're in the books.
They're in the books is fun. Let's talk about them being in the books.
Brain.
That's not the first one. They're in Moby Dick first.
Okay, now this is something I didn't think about this. I didn't come into today's episode. No, I did come into today's episode knowing I was going to talk about this, but I didn't go into watching the episode thinking about this. But the Queequeg part first of all, problematic. Second of all, the fact that they have everyone talking in broken English and then point out the fact that Queequeg also talks in broken English is essentially saying that people from Aboriginal cultures are like speak like dumb people, and
or like anyone who's ESL
I'm just
is
gonna
also
say
an
it.
idiot.
The Matt Groening writing team is not very mindful. All I'm gonna say is the Matt Groening team is not very mindful to Indigenous and Aboriginal cultures. They do it time and time again, showing that they kind of just don't care, and that's the shitty thing about the Matt Groening writing team. At this point in time, I don't know where they're at now, but if you watch old Simpsons, if you watch old Futurama, there's just a lot of not mindful commentary on Native culture.
You know what's fascinating?
Anyway, I'm off my soapbox now.
There's like a weird, and I was mentioning that I'm watching The Simpsons right now, and I'm somewhere in season 10 in my binge, and there's a weird turn in seasons like 10 and 11 where they just start making a bunch of transphobic jokes. After 10 seasons of never making transphobic jokes, they start dropping like slurs and stuff. It's very strange. It's like that was just trendy. That was in. And it's like, it's interesting to go back and watch that.
Well, yeah.
Punching bags, punching bags are a trend.
And it shocks you when you go back and watch it. Yeah, it's shocking when you go back and watch certain things, like when you see Samantha Jones use the T slur
on God,
Sex
so
and the
much.
City multiple times. But with
Liz
the
Lemon
Simpsons,
says the T slur.
What I
Liz
kind of
Lemon
think,
says the T slur for no reason.
I know. She just says it as an exclamation. But no, here's what I want to say. Oh, now I forgot.
She's like Christian Sirianni. Sorry.
It's because I feel like a big part of it is when writers get lazy, that's when they start punching down. When they can't think of witty things that don't that don't punch down, they start going for the easy, low-hanging fruit, the trendy jokes like you're talking about. And if we think about the fact that season 10 was about the time that Conan O'Brien left as a writer, and that a big shift changed in the writing room,
there,
it just kind of feels like some of the good writers left and there was just lazy writers hired.
And it was still all men.
Anyway,
it was still
back to
universally
Futurama.
white men. It's a whole new generation of Simpsons writers. Let's get some new blood in here.
It was still universally old white man. He's 40 and he's ready to work.
Hello, I went to Stanford. That's my impression of a Simpsons writer. So, Moby Dick, there is some funny jokes where he's like, oh, I'll give a shilling to the first person who spots the white whale. And Queequeg does see him, but he says, I saw him first. But it's not the white whale, it's a brain. It's a gray brain. And they like chase
whale.
a gray thinky whale, and they chase it into the ocean depths for some reason. And Captain Ahab and Queequeg follow into the next book. So we're in Tom Sawyer.
Which is Bonfire of the Vanities. No,
Wait.
Tom Sawyer, sorry.
Tom Sawyer. So they're in Tom Sawyer, and it's pretty funny because the giant brain is painting, he's whitewashing the fence, and he says, Tom Sawyer, you tricked me. This is less fun than you previously implied.
Me, Tom Sawyer. This is not as fun.
Really good stuff. Honestly, this is
me.
Tom Sawyer's dumb. I don't think we should make kids read that book anymore.
Okay.
I think the classics need
Mark
to go.
Mark Twain was also a ridiculous racist.
Horrible racist, yes.
Mark Twain, H.P. Lovecraft, all these goddamn white men suck.
Can we just throw out all the books that are 100 years old? Who cares? Not burn them. I'm not a fascist.
No,
because let's just stop studying them.
It's important that we do not gloss over the history.
True. But I'm just like, I hate that,
but also, geez Louise.
I just hate the concept of a classic, I hate the concept of someone decided this is a classic. So even though it's maybe good, maybe not, maybe problematic, maybe not, like we have to
or like
appreciate
a book
it and
is
enjoy
good
it.
just because it's old. I get that
Exactly.
if something withstands the test of time, it has merit. But to say that
like
just
Seinfeld.
because it's yeah. But lots of things withstand the test of time that don't have merit, like
I Dream of Jeannie.
Big League Chew.
Yeah, that stuff's gross.
Now, bring us home, Nick. Finally,
they go into Pride and Prejudice. Mr. Brainley comes in and he says, "I'm a gigantic brain." And all the storylines come together because Tom Sawyer throws the whitewash on the brain and they think it's the white whale, so they slay the whale. But then Fry gets out and we get a kind of twist where he dies in the library, like a bookshelf falls on him and breaks his neck. But in reality, this was all something that Fry was writing. We don't know when he started writing. That's up for debate. But he started writing something that made the brain think the brain was winning the fight. And now the brain is trapped in his book, which is full of spelling errors and plot holes. And he's going to leave.
Spelling errors.
Yeah, he's going to leave Earth for no reason. Thoughts?
And once he does, for some reason, he was powering all the other brains.
Oh yeah,
And
all the
once
other
he
brains
leaves-
died.
Yeah, once he leaves, all the other brains die, and the Nibblonians eat them. Now,
Well, it's kind of
because
like in Avengers 1, where remember when they blow up the mothership, all the Chitauri who are in New York, they just fall down dead. Maybe it's like that.
Huh. Maybe they were a hive mind.
I think they're a hive mind, babe. What do you think about...
Little me.
No, I'm calling
the fucking host of this show.
Hey, I love you, babe. So...
Shut up, baby, I know it.
So now, because of the brain stupefaction rays, no one remembers how Fry saved the day,
Yeah,
which
and we
only
get-
sets up for everyone to discover later that Fry has no delta brainwave.
Yeah, we'll find that out later. And this all ends, like Nibbler kind of narrates the last 45 seconds or so. And we see Fry trying to tell people, but no one believed him or cared. And yeah, everything's sort of back to normal. And we cut to space where the Nibblonians are cute. Wait, what happens at the end? Am I done? Is it over?
No, we cut back to Nibbler.
Yes.
Just resting on Leela's lap, being cute, saying that he will be ever vigilant.
And then he gets a diaper change, which is upsetting.
Someone needs a diaper change.
I don't like diapers. There's too many diapers in this episode. Zoidberg had a diaper.
So
Remember?
there's no one I'm feeling like banging in this episode.
No,
Not any of the brains for sure.
You wouldn't fuck any of the brains?
I mean, I'm with Leela. I want to know if there's a Mrs. Queequeg.
Oh, sure. He's pretty
shredded.
hot. Yeah. What about... My thing is, like, couldn't the brain make you feel like you were having, like, just the raddest sex ever?
Yeah, but... well, here we are back at Wet Dreams. What goes around comes around.
Ooh, gross.
Is that the name of the album? What goes around comes around.
What is that?
I won the Grammy.
What is that from?
Winehouse. I just saw this clip today. Apparently, like, her mic was on when they were saying all the nominees, and because she was performing at the Grammys.
Oh, yeah, she performed
And
right before
so
she
they're
won.
And so they're like, Justin Timberlake, what goes around comes around. And she goes, is that the name of the album? What goes around comes around. And then, like, as she's talking, they say she's the winner. And she's like, what?
R.I.P. Amy, one of my faves.
I know. She seemed really cool.
She was one of the best. So that's, I suppose, the end of this episode.
I suppose.
Any general thoughts about this episode? I wouldn't put this as, like, one of the best episodes ever, but I would put it really high A tier or really low S tier. I think it's really up there.
I think it's like mid to low A tier. For me,
That's fair.
For me, it's all about the rewatchability. Kind of like rewatching it today. There were parts of it I knew that didn't age well, but kind of like rewatching it. I'm more upset about the lazy writing than the less mindful writing, honestly. I know I could go on a fucking rant about justice and ethics and mindfulness and blah,
Remember
blah,
when
blah,
I
at the drop
told you
of a
about
hat.
always
For
ending your
me,
stories a sentence
the bigger
earlier?
problems in this episode is the
I'm
lazy
joking.
writing.
Keep going. Thank you. So, yes.
No, that's the bigger crime here.
Yeah. I think maybe I'm giving it a little more credit just because I'm appreciating what it did lore-wise. Like, we get so many big lore reveals this episode.
See, that's why I'm still putting it in the A tier, because for quotability and for lore exposition, this is a very good episode.
Well, it's settled. We think it's a good episode. I do think maybe Jinkx.
The final conclusion is I like it.
Jinkx, maybe we could do a YouTube video, maybe in between like seasons of our podcast. Maybe we could do a little YouTube video where we do like a tier list of Futurama episodes. People love tier list videos. I'll edit it all for us. Do you want to do it?
Yeah, next time I'm in, where do you live?
LA. Yeah, we could do it in person. That's probably the easiest way. Okay, well, everyone look forward to that. That's going to be on my YouTube because I want some of those sweet, sweet views, baby. Everyone go see Jinkx's little show.
Oh my God, shut up. Go to jinxandayla.com. Find out when we're in a city near you for the Jinkx and Dayla holiday tour. Until next week, have a futuristic day, everyone.
Yeah, that's the end. Bye.
Wow.